Okay, so a quick reminder of how you're going to do your grid. It is going to depend on which photo you picked, because if you picked a photo that has a large grid, so for example this one's a really close-up, so my grid boxes are a little bit larger, I was able to fit my grid on my paper with using 3-inch squares, okay, because I know that I just needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares across, and so I counted. This is a 12 by 18 paper, so 18 divided by 6 would give me 3, so I just did 3-inch squares, so that gave me a bigger grid to work with, because I don't have to worry about as many details in a close-up photo. Now if I'm working with a photo, for example like this one that has a lot more detail in it, obviously my squares are a little bit smaller. The smaller your grid is, the easier it's going to be to get all those little details in. So for this one, I know that it is set up for a 12 by 18 piece of paper with a 1-inch grid. So for that, I've already started the grid here. The most important part to doing the grid is measuring it first. I'm finding a lot of people are trying to draw their lines without measuring, and then that's what ends up making it off, and then you have to start all over again. So when you're using your ruler, right here where it says inches, oops, inch right there, you need to make sure you're lining up your paper with the first line, okay, that's our 0, and then right here where the number is, that's my inch. So where that big line is, that's my inch mark. Right here where the 2, that's my second inch mark, third inch mark, and so forth. So when I'm measuring, I'm making sure I'm lining up the 0 mark with the edge of my paper and lightly putting my marks. I'm going to put these kind of dark just so they show up on the camera, because I actually already have marks here, but you can barely see them because they're really light. I did them really light on purpose because obviously I am going to erase them later, right? You will notice that this paper is 18 inches long. My ruler does not go all the way to the end. So that means that I'm also going to have to put some marks on the middle of the paper. Make sure you're still lining it up with the edge of the paper. Make your marks every inch. Then you're going to go down to the bottom and you're going to do the same thing every inch, making your mark. Okay, and then when you have your marks all the way across your paper, you can line up your ruler and make your line. Okay, remember you want to draw it fairly light. I'm drawing it a little bit dark just so you can see what I'm doing on the camera. But you want to do it lightly because you will be erasing it. Alright? And then once you get all these lines drawn, that's when you go and you do your 1-inch marks across the top. So I've already started these. So I would finish doing these across the top, and then I would also do them across the bottom. And this one I don't have to do in the middle because my ruler will fit across this entire length. Oops, across the entire length of the paper, right? So I don't have to draw an extra mark. Okay, and so forth. So you're just going to keep going that way. I would, like I said, do all your marks first, then draw the lines. Otherwise, you end up getting off and then you have to start again. And you're just going to see, do you need small grids, or do you have a close-up picture where you can get away with making a larger grid? You're just going to have to figure that out based on the number of squares you have on your paper and what paper size you're going to be transferring it to.